All right, let's take the R6 and let's mess with it a little bit. I had a lot of people ask me all kinds of questions about hooking up the 1.4 and the 2X teleconverters to my EOS R. But I sold that camera and I bought the R6. And a lot of people are saying, does the autofocus work? Stuff like that. GoPro start recording. So I'm going to have the GoPro pointing at the back of the screen of my R6, and I hope this works. I don't even know if it will. Right now I've got the connection, I forget what you call it, on the EOS R6, and then I've got the 100 by 400 connected to it. So, because it's an EF lens, you need that attachment. And what I got going right now is what you see at 100 millimeters. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the 1.4 to it, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, on GoPro start recording. On this setup, I've got the extension, the 1.4, the spacer, the 2X, and the 100 by 400. And they're all connected. And some guys had asked me, does the autofocus work? And it does. At least I hope the GoPro's recording that. GoPro start recording. So does because it is set to animal for focus, so does it follow the animal with with this setup? Now I don't know why anybody would want to run this. I mean, because personally I think your pictures are not going to be that great. I mean, unless you're really shooting in manual mode and you're up in that ISO, I don't see how they would be that great. I mean, the less you use extensions, the better, because even with the 100 by 400, when you use it with the 1.4, you're going to lose one stop of light. You use the 2X, you're going to lose two stops of light. I wish I never bought the 2X. I very rarely use it. The 1.4 I do use quite a bit. But overall, everything seems to be working pretty good. And if you hear any outside sounds here, everybody's out cutting their grass and everything, so you're going to have to excuse that. I'm out in my backyard. Now I can hear a lot of birds, but I don't see any, probably because I'm out here talking. I'm scared of them. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and see if I can get a bird out here and see if I can get some of that where the autofocus in the R6 is following it with this crazy setup. And we'll see how that goes. So I'll be back and I'll tell you if it works or not. To sit here for half an hour waiting for this to go would just make my batteries go dead. Well, I got good news. When I had this set to animal focus, the little tiny square literally does sit on the bird's eye. And focusing isn't a problem. Now right now I got it fully extended, and this is shooting at f11. So if you think about that, with all these connections I've done, the RF 800 lens they came out with, which is like what, $800 or $900, shoots at f11. Yet this setup here, I don't know, would probably be the same if not more, and I'm shooting at f11. And I see a lot of bokeh in the back. I've got a picture of a cat here, maybe I can get him. The autofocus works fine. He's going to scare all the birds away. Behind the tree. When it loses the eye That was the eye there. Now, I can't see the head. So literally, it's putting a square all the way around the cat's body. And I just lost the cat. The focus is a little bit sluggish. It goes, it's what it does. It's slower with taking pictures, almost by half a second. I noticed when I got this zoomed all the way in to the 100 mil, everything's fast, quick, responsive with this setup. But when I extend it, it's a little slower with taking pictures. Now, from what I understand with that lens they came out with, the RF with the 800 mil, they say you don't have all the focus points. You get like a little tiny square or something focused in the middle. Well, with this setup, which is really messed up, let me pull off to the left here. Well, it doesn't go all, oh, there it goes. It does go all the way to the edge. But it's hunting. It's hunting big time. As I come back to the middle, then it stopped hunting. So the edges, it's really hugging. You'd probably want to keep this to the middle too. I can't believe this is working. This works better on the R6 than it did the EOS R. I mean, you really want to push some reach. This is definitely going to give it to you. That's pretty amazing. So yes, autofocus works, tracking works. You got it set to animal. It sets on the eye perfectly. You're shooting at f11 because every time you had a 1.4 or 2x, you lose stops of light and so on. But and a little trick to learn about the RX is, in case you didn't know, if your focus is not in the center where you want it, just hit the set around the wheel where it says set. Hard to get it where I want it. There we go. So yeah, just hit the set button in the middle and it'll put your little square back in the middle. So overall, would I use this? I mean, it takes a good couple of minutes to connect all these pieces together. If I was sitting in my truck and everything was sitting on the passenger side and I had the time to connect it all and I had no choice and there was, you know, a hawk sitting on a hay bale someplace way out there, I might try it. If I had the time, the bird would have probably flew off by then, but if I had no other choice and everything was sitting there ready to go and I could pop it together, I'd probably try it. But it's not something I'd run all the time. Normally, I'm going to tell you right now that if you can get closer to your bird by wearing camouflage, there he is. Oh yeah, it's going on the head and the whole body. And I'll have some pictures. I'll throw them up there. I'll edit them in my program. And I'll try to make them look as nice as possible. And maybe I'll throw, maybe I'll link some raw files, throw them up on my server so you guys, the few that watch me, can download them and you can play with it in your editor if you want. But it's a much better setup on the R6 than it was on the USR. Everything's a lot more responsive. It's nice to deal with, and I don't know if it's something I would run or. I only made the video because I was kind of like giggling when I made the video. But yeah, the square box is staying on the head of the bird. It's moving to the eye of the bird. It's not having a problem whatsoever. Anybody want to take a gander at what the distance is on this? Am I hitting 800 millimeter? Am I hitting 920? I mean, I tried contacting Canon before, and they gave me an answer, but then somebody else in the comments section gave me an answer, and he was correct. He knew how to do the math on this. So what would a 100 by 400 be with the 1.4 and the 2x and all this connected to an R6, which is a full frame sensor? What would be my reach on this? I don't know. That's pretty amazing. So if you're curious, this runs better in the R6 than it does the EOS R, and no problems with the focusing, with the autofocusing, not whatsoever. You are shooting at f11 when you got it fully extended, but that's no different than that $900 lens out there. So if you've already got this setup, am I shooting further than 800 mil? I think I am, and I'm still shooting at f11. So you have to decide, is this a cheaper way for you to go, or go the way of the $900 lens? Interesting. All right, I'll catch you guys later.